चेक करना जरा।
बोलो कुछ।
हाँ बोल सकते
अच्छा भाई
कब हम यहाँ से फ्री हो गए?
एग्जैक्ट 4
टेस्ट
नहीं, हम यहाँ IMA में हैं तो करीब हम 4:15 बजे ऑफिस में
AIDS
आएंगे।
in now chronic manageable disease.
इसमें कुछ और कोई
Start at an all HIV infected patient regarding of their CD4 count.
अच्छा तो
Pre-exposure prophylaxis in HIV infected individual can reduce their risk of acquiring.
आपसे मैं क्या बात करूँगा?
30% HIV plus patient also co-infected with HCV and 10% with chronic
आपका
HCV.
क्या है विकास?
MSM typically acquire HIV before they may acquire HCV. Hepatitis B virus can survive on countertop for 7 days. HCV can survive as surface as long as 16 hours. Alcohol kills HIV, HBV, HCV. Post-exposure prophylaxis should be started within 72 hours and continued for 28 days. ठीक है?
नहीं, single, he is single. Both will be doing the ritual.
इनको यहाँ बैठा दूँगा, रजिस्ट्रेशन हो गया। They will sit there.
नहीं थोड़ा सा मैं आपको मिस कॉल कर दूँगा।
हाँ, जब मिस कॉल करोगे तब बोलोगे।
ऐसा हम चाहते हैं कि 2018-19 में 20 क्रॉस नहीं करेगा। We want to have no price for IMA and for the PVPI. Together we want to have. That's the minimum thing which I looking forward. Because we have to make a mass movement. We want to see that the Indian population, as well as wherever we are supplying the medicines, the people will have full confidence on our medicines, our system of operations. और अगर इस समय नहीं होगा तो फिर कभी नहीं होगा। They have opportune time. It's God created environment. No, not I get energy from here.
He comes up with spontaneously with ideas. Very
The country is lucky to have certain people who are resisting their presence. We are kept in risk by them.
सुनो बेटे, संजीव,
बुला लो।
Now I am in
तो साथ में घूमने लगे।
आप प्लीज
बोलो।
नहीं
गाड़ी मंगा लीजिए हमारी।
प्लीज आप ना
बोलो।
नहीं हो गया। आप ना इसे ना यूँ सीधा रख लेना वहाँ पे, और ये ना रिकॉर्डिंग डायरेक्ट चलने देना।
sit this side. They are going to make a video recording.
You see that your convenient place. We are sitting at our place.
Yes, yeah.
ये रोटेट कर पाओगे इसको आप?
हाँ सर,
कैमरा रोटेट हो जाए?
हाँ जी बिल्कुल सर। हम
जरूर आप यहाँ
नहीं मैं तो थोड़ा सा उनको
जिसमें कहिए तो थोड़ा इधर करते और पीछे हो जाते हैं। पूरा देश आपके हाथ में है, क्योंकि ये चीज है। और होगा सब सीनियर पर्सन का बढ़िया परफॉर्मेंस।
वो कर दिया आपने अपने लाइव जा रहा है। Greetings from Indian Medical Association and PVPI. I am Dr. K.K. Agarwal, Honorary Secretary General. Today we are starting a half an hour interaction every day with some important person. It will be 3:30 to 4 p.m. every day, and you can watch it at IMA website as well as on eMedinex's website. We are lucky to have today in our IMA office Dr. G.N. Singh, the Director, Drug Controller General of India. He is also running the PVPI program, that is Pharmacovigilance program of the country. With me, I have Dr. V.K. Monga, Dean-elect of IMA CGP, and both of us will be interacting with Dr. G.N. Singh. For quite some time, he and me and myself, we are trying to come out with a program at a national level. We know that a couple of years back, IMA did a small program on pharmacovigilance, but that program is not visible. So what we are trying to do is, we are going to go ahead for the next 1 year and make a target. Can we report 1 lakh side effects, adverse reactions of the drugs? And that's what the IMA PVPI initiative on patient safety will be. I personally feel is the most important work of a doctor is patient safety first. Giving medicines to the extent that patient safety is of paramount importance. If that doesn't happen, I don't think so that we have any reason to continue our practice. Our fight with the quacks, people who are not untrained and people who are quacks, is only because of they cannot provide patient safety. Our drugs, whether they are Schedule H drug, Schedule H1 drugs, Schedule X drugs, Schedule G drugs, or Schedule K drugs, when it comes to scheduled drugs, and specifically H, H1 and X, we need to be very careful that these drugs remain safe in the patient's domain. When we read textbooks which are of UK or US or coming from the international scenario. All our side effects entail to basically side effects which are known in population, which is of US or UK or others. They may not be true. Our race and their race are different. Their side effects may be different. We know that in blacks, the hypertension medicines are different, that the protocols are different. So our side effects may be different. So we need to know that in India also, it is not true that all of us, because we have different types of races in India also. We have Aryans more in north, and we have Mongolians in east, and we have Dravidians in the south. They all may behave differently, drugs may behave differently. Therefore, it becomes very, very, very important for us to notify side effects. And when we notify side effects, what will happen is that we will be able to generate our own data. And when we generate our own data, we will be able to give justification to the patients. So let's interact with Dr. Singh. So first of all is, when did this idea of pharmacovigilance came in your mind?
Thank you, Professor Agarwal. It's really a great honor for me to be building up Indian Medical Association, for which I intended for a long time to get an opportunity. And credit goes to Dr. Agarwal, who is a pioneer clinician of this country, and we are very lucky to have such a leader with the medical fraternity. The patient safety, as he was mentioning, is the utmost importance for the Indian regulators, for the Indian government, and as a citizen, we want to have a robust system through which we can say that whatever the things are happening, they are science-based. Though earlier also we were having system, procedures, tools, but they were not meeting the international norms and expectations. Few years back in 2011, the government of India decided that the pharmacovigilance program, which was in-house at All India Institute of Medical Sciences, was transferred to the Indian Pharmacopoeia Commission, and the commission was declared the National Coordinating Center, and that's the beginning of the success story. As you are aware, India is supplying medicine to 220 countries. You will be proud, each and every Indian citizen, Indian doctors, Indian pharmacists, paramedicals should feel proud. Today, the Make in India program, which Honorable Prime Minister is pleading, we have shown the world a successful story. Each and every medicines, at least out of 3 tablets capsule, 1 is made in India globally and people are consuming. when we have become the pharmacy of the world, the responsibility on the regulators, on the scientific fraternity, on the practitioners is of very high magnitude and expectations. We have to see that whatever the medicines are produced, marketed within the country, or is exported from outside the India to other countries, meet the patient safety requirements. As a regulator, safety is of, again I am repeating, utmost importance, and we want to have a tool. The tool should be science-based, and in that context I was looking for a person who can make it to happen. Fortunately, few days back I got an opportunity to meet Dr. Agarwal, who is one of my old friend and very trusted friend, not as a scientist only, but a very trusted person, citizen of this country. Dr. Munga was also accompanying in my office, and the whole story started when we had international safety meet of the global personals 4th to 7th of November in India. That was a great event which happened in the history of this country, where more than 70 countries representative participated. Honorable Health Minister inaugurated it, and that is the overall confidence which WHO has posed on India and Indian system of seeing that we are concerned with the safety issues. And when I met Agarwalji, I requested him how the Indian Medical Association, which is the right platform, which has been given the right responsibility by the people of this country, and which is doing extremely good job for the patient safety, may chip with this system. And I am lucky, yesterday on my request, Professor Agarwal visited Indian Pharmacopoeia Commission, and I never met a person of such fast acting capability who agreed, IMA would be taking the responsibility of ensuring that the medicines which are produced, marketed, consumed by the patient right, which is the safety, the well-being, and the overall of their rights, if they may get the quality medicines, could be ensured to each and every citizen of this country. In that context, the IMA has really agreed to join hands with the Indian Pharmacopoeia Commission Pharmacovigilance Program of India, and today is the beginning happening at the IMA building, where two of the great persons are sitting left and right of mine. It's a historical day, and we want to give a message to each and every citizen of this country, and at a global level, the Indian Medical Association, the Indian regulator, the Indian governments, we are working together to see that the patient safety get its right utmost importance. And in this context, today the beginning has taken place, and in near future we are going to see that the dream which our seniors have dreamed could be translated into action by the able support of Dr. Agarwal, Munga ji, and with the help of the officers of PVPI who are working tirelessly under the overall guidance of the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. So this is the beginning.
Thank you. Dr. Munga, when I was having a meeting with the President NCI and the Chairman Academic, Dr. Ved Prakash Mishra, and they told that there has been a request, and in fact, one of the court decision had come, and where NCI is now sent it to for ordinance that 10% of the CMEs has to be on mental health. That means after 30 credit hours, 3 credit hours have to be on mental health. And when I was discussing with him, I said IMA can come out with a policy that every lecture or every CME of IMA must end with 3 slides. One of the slides should be on mental health. Say for example, hypertension counseling, that means mental health. One of the slide must talk about ethico-legal aspects, so that our UNESCO project gets continued, and we talk about every slide there is a legal / ethical aspect of treatment. And in the third, we should add about pharmacovigilance. That every CMA in India, there should be a slide on pharmacovigilance. That means they should talk about side effects. they should talk about side effects. And then when we talk about side effects, if you go internationally, they talk about 10%, 5%, 2%, 1%, less than 1%.
But we don't have a data.
We don't have a data. The data is available of the West. We don't have a data. How the Indians will going to react?
But then, I mean, this IMA, I think it's a laudable idea. But can you tell our viewers what is the project as such?
See, what we are thinking is that if DCGI group agrees, they will give us a coordinator who will be a coordinator posted at IMA, who will be a link between us and them. We will start the first nodal center in Delhi,
Okay.
and then the second in Mumbai, the third in Guwahati, and the fourth in South, either Bangalore or in Kerala. And these nodal centers will working with their nodal offices, and they have nodal offices all over the country. But our nodal offices will be basically for private practitioners. Then we will, every state branch will ask them to put down a chairman of this committee.
Okay.
We call them here, we train them. So in every state, ultimately we want nodal offices. And then we start standard CMEs. The CME means we create a standard video CME of 1 hour, half an hour lecture, half an hour interaction, so that in every branch, wherever it moves, the full stop and the comma doesn't change. It remains the same.
Sure.
So the standard CMEs we create,
Mm.
and it had 1,700 branches. Why can't I have 1 lakh adverse reactions being reported by IMA? Through
But then
IMA?
through these IMA branches, you are going to involve all the membership at large in the country.
Absolutely.
The concept number one, and then how to use this concept is also important, I believe.
Correct.
How are you going to, I mean,
See, I need to give an incentive, so we will develop an app.
Sure.
That app should be able to give them name of the drug introduced, drug banned, and then we should be able to tell people that drug interaction and drug food interaction, and plus the form will be there, doctor should be able to fill it up there. So it will be we have to motivate the doctors. But the most important thing is why? Because it's in our own interest.
That's the issue.
It's
Yeah.
in our own interest.
Yeah.
See, for example, I'm giving a patient 4 drugs, and he's getting a reaction, and so I'll give you an example that I get a patient on, say, amlodipine. Okay,
Mhm.
amlodipine is not supposed to cause stuff. ACE inhibitors are supposed
That's
to
right.
cause stuff, but I don't know. Maybe in India amlodipine causes cough.
Mm.
So suppose I put down that my patient on amlodipine is having cough, and suddenly it flashes. Yes, 99 more people have recorded.
Mm.
99 more people have reported that cough with amlodipine.
Mm.
That means immediately the message goes to them and they start investigating. Is it really true? Is it a false alarm? Is it a true alarm? We don't know what is the response of sartans
In Indian conditions.
in Indian conditions on cough. We normally say that all ACE inhibitors will cause cough, and non-ACE inhibitors will not. We don't know. We exactly don't know the data. Exactly. I know of a situation where sucrose iron is supposed to be 100% safe. This is what is being taught to us.
Mm.
But I've seen my own mother-in-law developing severe anaphylaxis. Almost we have to revive her. So therefore the message must go that even sucrose iron can cause anaphylaxis.
Mm.
And that's known to me. But if it is there on the website,
Many more people. will
and
know.
suppose 100 such cases are being reported,
Mm.
then everybody would know, oh my God, in India the response is different. So ultimately, it has to help a doctor practicing. It shouldn't happen that a doctor doesn't know, somebody else says stop the medicine, he becomes all right, and then we lose the patient. So therefore, we need to know side effects in Indian circumstances.
Correct.
Sooner or later, this has to become the Bible of drug interactions in India and the drug side effects in India. If we don't do that, we all will rely only on the data of the West, and we don't have a data of our own. Say, for example, Nimesulide came. Nimesulide was allowed everybody. Then DCGI, then Drug Technical Advisory Board sat and they said, we don't want to give it to children less than 12 years of age, but the data is not sufficient.
Mm.
But it was not based on the data collected on side effects. It was based on the data collected that no trials are available. But by that time, lakhs of children were using Nimesulide. Was it really causing side effect to children? We don't know. This will help. So it will really help us. What is the data of side effects in the country? So I personally feel it's a good way of service to the community. And we are helping as an IMA to the doctors, but also we are helping to the community.
Sure, for all times to come on, people will be more intelligent. Our doctors will know what are the side effects of what medicines, and they can use it in their practice. In that way, the patient will also benefit.
Today, is it possible for me that you have a data of 1 lakh? Is it online? So that I know what is the current data. Suppose I want to know today that Ramipril, has anybody reported in India side effects of Ramipril? If yes, what?
Yes, it is available online and anytime.
To everybody?
No, it is only with the PVPI and its designated officer because.
So therefore, if I have a nodal center here,
Yes, you would.
and somebody asks me,
Yes.
I should be able to answer it.
Yes, you will be empowered to know because IMA, when we are joining hand with the IMA, though it was keeping restricted, but as a doctor you are having all the, you would be empowered to have the accessibility on those data.
Absolutely. So what can happen is that our center, nodal center here can go through, and if they observe anything unusual, if we observe anything unusual on a clinical basis,
There is an alarm.
we can, in our meeting, monthly meeting, and we can raise the alarm and then make it public. Apart from what,
But till now, why were you keeping it so secretive? I mean, that it was not open to doctors and everyone.
No, it was
it is still
because,
open through the nodal centers. No, it is open through the nodal
yes,
centers.
Only.
yeah, the part of the international pharmacovigilance program, which is managed by the Uppsala WHO Coordinating Center, and as per the agreement, the data are mined over there. We would be allowed to see the spectrum of the data which we are putting are there also need based on the request. Dr. Agarwal rightly mentioned that we want to have what sort of the side effects are the adverse reactions are taking place on the Indian population. How the genetically, geographically are the races which are present in Indian population. What sort of side effects are taking place, and you will be pleased to know that the mining of data which today we are having, in other when the IMA joins hands together and we start realizing the use of medicines would be reduced, the antimicrobial resistance would be dramatically controlled, and the people would be healthy, and it is going to give a new direction, not the system of treatment to the people of this country, but it would have a great impact on the overall international system also. Side by side, the medical practitioners are going to get a lot of good science-based information. Though it would be voluntarily, but the knowledge which they are getting personally, sometimes commercial oriented, they would be getting the true knowledge which is science-based, which is well analyzed, and since you people are going to be the partner, everything would be crystal clear, and the confusion mindset of the patient would be always be removed.
And it is not only drugs, it will also include devices. Yes. Infection rate of device, I don't know. Malfunctioning of devices, I don't know. Say for example, there is always a doubt in my mind whether the electronic BP instrument actually works or not. Whether the digital thermometer in India is working or not.
Do you think you will be able to fight the menace of spurious drugs or substandard drugs or something
Maybe,
like
yes.
that? Because people are concerned about that.
And then it will also talk about biosimilars. We will also talk about antibiotic resistance. We should be able to notify antibiotic resistance, whether antibiotic is working or not. And we should also be able to do blood and blood product immunovigilance program. What I was doing was independent of them. Once we take up this project, we talk to their counterpart in the ministry and we say, let disease surveillance also come to us.
Okay.
Why only drugs? Why can't we say where is the dengue outbreak, where is the malaria outbreak? So that surveillance department, through them, should be able to recommend or involve IMA with that. We should be able to do that. And then sentinel events. I don't have a similarly sentinel events is like wrong surgery, wrong patient, fall, accidents in the hospital practice, wrong gas. So those sentinel event reporting ultimately we should be able to bring it with that. So what will happen is this can ultimately become a comprehensive patient safety procedure. Because sentinel event is patient safety. Alone drugs is only, medication error is only one. But we want to bring out all aspects of patient safety into our program, and we should be able to do that.
But when the program starts, I mean, what are are the options available to a doctor or maybe a patient also? How we can report it to you, because you are going to...
See, we are going to develop an app. We are going to develop an app.
Okay.
Plus, they can go to the PDPI website or IMA website. That we will discuss. Ultimately, they should be able to go through the IMA website, or we identify a third party, and they will be able to go. And the form should be
Simple and easy to fill.
simple and instructive.
Yeah.
Instructive. Somebody should be able to put it out as a form, and it should be quick, and we should be able to fill it up. And simple filling form may not be the answer. Say for example, if I am putting it as, say, a patient has got a boil after taking, say, aspirin, okay, or a drug rash with aspirin, with that, I should be able to get a data. I don't know whether they have that procedure or not. Suppose I am putting aspirin and drug rash. Immediately I should be able to click and say how many people have reported like that. That will help you.
Okay, but that will be great in case we can do it.
If you can, sooner or later, if not today, ultimately we'll have to. So I as a doctor wants to know that suppose I say I have reported drug and rash, and I click and I says 1,000 people also have reported drug and rash. That means it's common. It's not uncommon. And if I find that it is something rare, nobody else has reported, it becomes an incentive for me to report it in a journal.
Do you think it will help you legally also in case somebody goes
Yes,
to the court
absolutely.
that I suffered this thing because of the...
You should be able to say
doctor.
so many. It is just a
You
common
should be
side
able
effect.
to say
It's a
that
common side
thousands have
effect.
suffered
It's a
also.
common side effect.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's a common side effect.
Okay.
And I should be able to say, suppose I want to claim today in Indian literature that this drug is causing this side effect, and I want to report. Suppose I want to report in a journal, and I says this is the first case report in India. How do I find out? Go to the pharmacovigilance website and see how many people have reported. If nobody has reported, I am the first one to do that. So what will happen is everybody will start reporting. So our job is to sensitize people, hammer them, report. Unfortunately, reporting is not mandatory. So we have to fight for it to make it mandatory. Whether we talk to Medical Council of India, State Medical Council, put in advisory, whatever we do, we must start reporting because it is in the interest of the patient. It is, as far as patient safety is concerned, we must report adverse effects, sentinel events, adverse reactions, and you have gone to that vaccine meeting. It's the same program.
Yeah.
Vaccine is the same program, vaccine reactions. Today, just now, a reporter called me up, she might be coming here, and she said, vaccine-induced polio. And she was talking about, she's supposed to come and discuss about vaccine-induced polio. So we don't know. Today, we don't know how vaccines are safe. I don't know anything. I don't know what is it. Say people say that anti-TB reaction. Everybody says in anti-TB reaction that INH causes jaundice. Okay. In my practice of 31 years, I have only seen it linked to pyrazinamide, which is not the same as in the literature. In the literature is INH or rifampicin. But I always, whenever I have seen a patient with jaundice, in my patient it is concerned with pyrazinamide. Is it true? I don't know. Is it true? I don't know. So I'll tell you that my observation is that every patient, whenever I give a fever, suppose the fever is 102, 103, if I give him Nimesulide, and the fever rapidly becomes 97, 98, I've always seen Vidal positive. I've always seen him typhoid. I don't know whether it is a... Now this side effect for me is a diagnostic criteria. If it is true, which I don't know, this is just my observation, then it can become like a diagnostic test. That if you give in a fever, then as we say, fever responsive to indomethacin, rule out Hodgkin's. A fever which only responds to indomethacin is Hodgkin's. But we don't have Indian data. We don't have Indian data. Xylocaine, if you take a xylocaine spray, 50% of the migraine will disappear. Off-label uses. Similarly, sooner or later in this program, we may even bring off-label use and try to contradict their policy that off-label uses are banned in India. This is what their policy is. But I personally feel that off-label use sometimes.
But they should be documented and authenticated.
But that's the only way. Documentation, the only way of documentation is
Yeah.
is you have to document it on the website. So all the people who are watching this program should be able to say that IMA is entering into taking a major initiative on patient safety. Because people feel IMA is only working for the safety of the doctor, and not working for the safety of the patient. But our job has to be a safety of the patients with that. So we should be able to get some data, and we should be able to do a lot of research. We have a membership of 2.5 lakh doctors. We can involve all the specialty organizations of our umbrella, and we can do. And he is already agreed to come for half an hour in the Central Council, and we can have an interaction. Whatever interaction we are having right away, we'll have an interaction with him with that. Some more messages.
So today I can tell he is a historical day for the country as a whole, as a nation, because we are entering into a phase from where confidently we can tell science-based evaluation, the system, tools have been put in place with the help of the medical practitioners, regulators and the patients. All are coming under one platform, from where we are going to make India a signing country. A beginning has started, the globe is looking towards India health sector. When we are going to see that the patient safety is of utmost importance through a very dedicated tool, and that is the pharmacovigilance, you rightly mentioned hemovigilance, then material vigilance, then the biovigilance, when all the things would be put under one roof, and IMA is becoming the partner. I think that is going to change the whole scenario of the treatment system of the country, and is going to open new doors for the at the global level. I think the medical tourism which our country is looking forward. When the patient safety is ensured, again we are going to see a boost of the patient will be coming across the globe. The medicines are safe. And first and utmost importance, the way your networking is throughout the country. The common people of this country will be getting the maximum benefit. The doctors are going to get the current information on the medicines, on the medical devices, on the other blood-related products, the antimicrobial resistance, which has become a really alarming things. Every answer will be there, and the best thing is they are going to be the partner in deciding the fate of the whole system, and they are empowering the population of this country. And really I am grateful to IMA, you Dr. Sabri specifically, and the President. Is a great honor for me to be here, and the government of India would be supporting for this purpose the way you want to spell it out, and we are going to make India to a signing country on patient safety part. Thank you very much.
So that's all for today, and this daily webcast will be brought to you courtesy with our webcast partner, that's eMediNexus. Initially it was eMediNews, now it is slowly taking over in the part of eMediNexus, and all this transmission and everything will be on a daily basis through eMediNexus as our webcast partner. And we'll come back tomorrow with one more show. Till that, goodbye. Thank you.
Congratulations to both of you.
Thank you.